Gecko people, welcome back to my channel. Guess what? It's egg time. The 2026 breeding season has officially started and Chahoua laid their first set of eggs, so I figured I would document the experience live on camera of me collecting those eggs and then setting them up, and the trials and tribulations that come with that. Take a look and see how we deal with a common but rarely discussed issue with Chahoua egg collecting. Will we be able to collect the eggs without ruining them? If you want to find out, keep on watching. Also, please stick around to the end of the video. I have something that if you like Chahoua, you're not going to want to miss. So I'm about to show the footage, but before I do, I wanted to quickly go over some of the physical properties of Chahoua gecko eggs. The first thing is that you'll want to look for them every 2 months instead of every month like you might for crested gecko eggs. The second thing is that they don't really bury their eggs. They're not really going to utilize a lay box. They could, but it's rather unlikely. They're much more likely to lay them in very odd spots because in the wild they actually will lay their eggs like at the base of a tree or inside of a tree hollow or even under a pile of leaves, but they don't really bury them much in the soil. You're not going to have to necessarily dig around to find them like you would for a crested gecko, but they actually glue their eggs to surfaces, and that could include any surface. I'm talking if you have plastic hides, or if you have a PVC cage or a glass tank, they could glue their eggs to the side of that. They could glue them to any piece of furniture in the cage. And that actually happened to us in this video. It is a tricky situation that I show how we deal with. So if you want to see whether we get those eggs off, keep on watching. Here's the footage. So we have our first eggs of the season, yay! However, you may notice that they are pinned against the glass and the wood. And that is something that is fairly common with these guys. Chahoua are not typical barriers of their eggs. They will actually glue their eggs to surfaces, usually inside of a hide or inside of a hollow wood, and sometimes, you know, at the base of things, like the base of a piece of wood or the base of a plant. Oh, you're facing the opposite direction than I thought. Oh boy, this is gonna be a thing, huh? So I'm gonna reach down and just see if, oh, she's probably gonna reach down and see if this is attached. Oh boy, it is. Okay, we're gonna have to do some egg surgery here. You basically try to just weaken and wiggle that bond with the egg and the glass enough that you can get the egg off without breaking the egg or ripping the egg or causing any sort of tear, because that in the future, as the egg grows and swells, could introduce bacteria and mold, and it also could create leaks because as the egg grows, that weakened area will break. I have here some moistened Q-tips and a moistened paper towel. So I'm just going to try and use various things to get this egg to basically loosen its grip to the glass, and it's going to take time and patience. So I will probably either speed this up or cut part of this out, but what I'm doing is gently, very gently, applying a little bit of pressure and just pressing the very end of the Q-tip against the egg and the glass. And the hope is that the water eventually will soften the egg enough to pop off without any breaks. And the reason I like to use Q-tips is because the soft end of this allows for some flexibility to put some pressure without anything sharp or anything like that. And the reason I like the paper towel is because I can take, let's say, if I fold it a little bit, but let's say it's got, you know, a thinness, but enough that I can sort of get that right between where the egg and the glass is. And I just kind of put that there. And I let it sit for a minute. And you can also kind of slightly saw it back and forth. You know, not like an actual saw, but you know, it's soft and it will hopefully cricket. It will hopefully help to weaken that bond. What I've done is I've wedged that paper towel kind of in between the egg and the glass, but also underneath the egg, because this other egg here is not attached to the glass. It's attached to the paper towel, which is a good thing because it gives me a bit more access in that open area, and it means that I can kind of use that egg to kind of get around and underneath the one that is fused and find where its sort of strongest and weakest connection is and apply pressure in the right spot. I'm letting it soak just a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is, sorry for the camera shaking, gotta hold it. I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure to sort of scoot this in just a little bit further, and a little bit further, and a little bit further until hopefully it just pops right off. So that is what I'm gonna do. It takes a lot of time and patience, but cross your fingers that we don't have any breaks. I have not destroyed an egg yet, so it's just not, you know, you never feel sure when there's lots of variables at play here, like how strongly it's been glued, when she laid the eggs. All right, I think I've made some progress. I thought I saw the eggs wiggle, so they might pop off. They might pop off now. Oh, yes, yes. Ah, there we go. Something that's kind of nice about paper towel as opposed to dirt. And dirt can also be nice too, but dirt will glue itself to the egg. But the paper towel you can kind of just rip off and pull away gently. And then this is the opposite side. We do have a bit of a weak spot here, unfortunately. We'll probably have to patch it as it grows. Hopefully it's not too bad. And I'll candle these to see which way is up. Generally what you would want to do, if possible, depending on how the candling goes, is put the damaged side up, because then you're not having it sitting in moisture and introducing extra bacteria for the entire duration, which is going to be about a 4-month incubation. So that's unfortunate to see that damage, but it's not a hole, so that's good. This is just kind of one of the potential setbacks of breeding these guys, so I will get these candled and take a look. All right, so here are the eggs, and this is how to candle eggs. I have a bright light here. You can use the flash on your phone, and you just go behind the egg in a dark area, and if you see a Cheerio, then you know that they're fertile. I'm not seeing it clearly here. I'm gonna flip them over and take a look on this side. Aha! That is the Cheerio. You might not be able to see it very clearly on camera, but it is right here on this egg. And right here on this egg. So they're actually laid. This is right side up, which, you know, not, again, not ideal for positioning, but they aren't really like snake eggs in that they have to be perfect, you know, perfectly placed upright in order to live. Like, I've had ones that have been laid in incredibly bizarre orientations like this, where really the only way to have them both be up would be to have one like buried underneath. We don't want to do that. So this is the kind of decision I have to make, is do I try to position these eggs with the damaged side up in order to more easily monitor and deal with any issues there, or do I put it in the orientation that is probably going to be more correct for where the embryos are sitting right now? And I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Another little wrinkle in egg collection with these guys. So I finally decided what I'm going to do, and it's actually going to be kind of a hybrid solution. So we've got the damaged side. Their true rotation in the egg in terms of the Cheerios is like this pretty much. I'm gonna have it be like this. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna mound up some substrate. Basically, I'm gonna make a little mound. And that way we don't have one egg hovering up in the air. We've had really good success even with things like damage on eggs that are fertile like this. So we've got this little mound, and we've got the eggs all up there on their little hill, and that's how they're gonna stay for 4 months. Now that the eggs are safe and sound, I will make sure to update you all on the progress of these eggs. I'm going to attempt to document pretty much everything that happens with them, from the laying of them to hopefully at the end of 4 months, hatching out 2 cute little baby chewies. If that area that is weak needs patching, I will show how I patch the egg. I will show warts and all, everything with these eggs. I know it's a long wait. It's a long wait for us too. However, I think it's worth it to keep these guys. They are an incredible species. Now for that thing I promised earlier. Who's excited for Chewy merch? I'm actually going to be doing some Rainy Day Geckos merch that is illustrated and everything by me. I've been working kind of tirelessly the last like 3 or 4 days on various pieces and ideas and sketches and things, and I've taken one and kind of run a little crazy with it. Here's a little sneak peek of one of the pieces that I'm working on. It's in progress. I have some other things that I'm working on as well. You know, funny ideas and funny things for stickers and stuff. I thought that Chewies have been kind of underrepresented in merch that you can get, and I wanted to change that because I love these goofy little guys and I think they deserve more stuff. I've been seeing a lot of AI art everywhere, like on social media. It's just like inescapable, and you know, as an artist, it was kind of making me a little bit sad, and I wanted to make something. And so it's been really nice to just pour some hours and some real like sweat into making something with my own hands, and I hope that you like it. Please feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more like it, as well as hit the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video so you don't miss anything. And that's it. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everybody!